You've cooked something you're genuinely proud of, but when you serve it, people hesitate and they push it around like a picky 5-year-old. Why is this? You know your food tastes great. If your food looks bad, people will assume it tastes bad. And that moment quietly kills the excitement you've worked so hard to create. Each plate is an opportunity where you either earn your diner's trust or you lose it. Now, as a food photographer for over a decade, working with some of the best visual chefs in the UK, I've seen firsthand how purposeful presentation can make a massive difference, either when I look through the lens, but more importantly that sense of wow when a dish is placed in front of the diner. This video shows why your food might not be getting the respect it deserves, and exactly how to change that without becoming obsessed with perfection. I've said it before on this channel, and I'm going to say it again now. Plating shouldn't be seen as the finishing touch. It's the first impression with the diner, so it's essential to get that right. Oh, and by the way, I'm running a competition this week to win a copy of my Plating Gym book, so make sure you watch it all the way through to the end to get involved. We spend so much time thinking about recipes, ingredients, timing and seasoning. We chase the perfect sear on a steak, the exact acidity in a sauce, the right balance between crunch and creaminess in a dessert. But there's an ingredient many home cooks and even chefs overlook completely: presentation. Not presentation for cynical Instagram likes or to win style points, but presentation to reflect the care, skill and effort you took to cook the dish in the first place. Because here's what's truly at stake. All your hard work and skill are being overshadowed by how your food looks. If you want people to value your cooking, you have to make it look like it's something worth tasting. Now let's get something clear. You don't even have to care about plating really. And I don't believe you should feel pressured to plate like a Michelin-starred chef if it doesn't align with your food. In fact, some of the world's best chefs embrace messy, rustic plates intentionally. Their dishes tell stories of warmth, culture and abundance, with not a set of tweezers in sight. I recently did a video all about this and I'll link it to you here. The keyword? Intentionality. Because if your food looks bad because you were rushing, didn't think it mattered, or you were avoiding learning how to present it correctly, well then you're missing out on an opportunity for your food and your skills to get noticed and remembered. So what's really at risk when plating gets ignored? When we skip purposeful plating, we're not just skipping garnish or a drizzle of sauce. We're skipping the chance for our food to grab somebody's attention and pull them in. It's the difference between a dish that people lean into, curious to taste, and one they're just going to walk past at the table. Now I've seen this firsthand. Working with chefs for over a decade, I've noticed how dishes that look intentional, even simple, get noticed. Guests remember them, they talk about them, and they often come back for them. And for chefs working in professional kitchens, plating can be the quiet factor that gets you noticed for the extra step in your career. It's a small shift that shows care, confidence and clarity in your cooking. And at home, it can be the difference between a dish your family simply enjoys and one that creates a small, memorable wow moment that makes people appreciate all the effort you've put in. Now I'm curious, have you ever had a dish that tastes amazing, but you've noticed it doesn't really get the reaction you hope for? Let me know in the comments, because it will help me shape more videos that will support you the best. So why does food that tastes great still end up looking unappealing? This is one of the biggest frustrations for home cooks and chefs who care about their food. You focused so hard on nailing the flavours. The seasoning is right, the textures are balanced, you've managed the timing perfectly. But when it comes time to serve, you panic and it just looks like a brown, messy pile on a plate. The problem usually comes down to rushing through plating without a plan, letting everything blend into a sea of colours, or by adding so many elements that the plate looks chaotic rather than composed. And here's the thing. It's easy to convince yourself that plating is a luxury, that it's all about taste anyway. I'm a cooking purist, so I don't care what it looks like. Or you may lack confidence and tell yourself you just don't have the skills yet. But often it's the missing piece that elevates your cooking to the level it deserves. And the good news is, you don't need fancy tools or expensive ingredients to fix this. Like many creative endeavours, a little bit of knowledge goes an awfully long way, which is why I created the Plating Gym book over on Kickstarter. It was funded in under 72 hours by this amazing community of like-minded platists who believe, like I do, that plating and presentation is a skill that can be learned, just like photography, art, or even sculpture. You just need the right sources of information. So you can find a link to buy the physical or digital version below, along with a link to download my free Plate Like a Pro checklist, a simple one-page guide to help get you started. So once you understand what's going wrong, you can start making small changes that bring your dishes to life visually, without losing their soul. I think there's a question that many cooks and chefs quietly carry. How do I get my food to look as good as it tastes without it feeling forced or inauthentic? Because none of us want to plate just for the sake of it. The goal isn't to make it look pretentious. It's to help it feel complete, to reflect the care you've already put into the flavour, texture and the timing. So let's have a look at some of the easiest wins in plating. These aren't tricks or trends, they're timeless visual tools. And skipping them doesn't make your plate more honest or humble, it just puts it at an unfair disadvantage. So let's start with layout. And firstly, I'd encourage you to go analog. Dust off an old notebook and sketch. You don't need to be good at drawing. These aren't blueprints, they're just simple structural ideas. Having something to work towards gives your plating clarity and direction. And when you're in the kitchen, under pressure or plating up for your guests, you'll be so grateful you gave it some thought ahead of time. Before anything touches the plate, ask yourself, what do I want this plate to feel like? Is it delicate and precise? Perhaps stack the components vertically to build height and focus. Is it about movement and flow? A gentle linear layout will help the eye to travel. Is it bold and generous? Well, then cluster the ingredients into a tight, abundant format. Even this single decision, how to arrange your elements, can shift your plating from improvised to intentional. Now, if you want help getting started, I'll link to a playlist here on the Slick framework. That's stacked, linear, isolated, condensed layouts. It's designed to help you break through the blank plate moment and to push past the creative resistance that we all face from time to time. Once you've got a layout in mind, the next tool to reach for is colour. Colour is one of the fastest ways to signal freshness, interest and intention. It tells your diner the plate is alive, that it's been composed and not just slopped on. And no, this doesn't mean edible flowers and neon purees, unless that's your thing of course. It can be as simple as adding something green to a sea of brown, a spoonful of a golden sauce, a pop of red from a tomato or a roasted pepper. Even pale creamy tones like whipped ricotta or a swirl of yogurt can calm a loud plate and let other ingredients shine. And colour isn't just visual, it can often mirror flavour. Think the brightness of a citrus, the warmth of a root veg, or the richness of deep red reduction. Colour can lead the diner's eye and hint what they're about to taste. But even with strong layout and colour, the plate can still fall flat if it feels crowded. Which brings us to space. Most of us, especially when we're trying to impress, have a tendency to overfill. But restraint is often more powerful. Negative space, or the quiet part of the plate, is what allows hero elements to breathe. It's the visual exhale, the pause between flavours, the white space that gives shape to story. And it signals confidence too. Because when you leave space, you're telling the diner, I trust my food to speak for itself. That kind of calmness immediately changes how the plate is received. And finally, we move on to numbers. When you're placing components, be it scallop, vegetable, quenelles, whatever they might be, try using odd numbers. 3 or 5 almost always looks more natural than 2 or 4. There's a rhythm to it, a sense of balance without being too perfect. Designers use this, photographers use this, nature uses this. It's a tiny change that will keep your plate feeling more dynamic and alive. So the next time you're plating, take a second to ask yourself, is this plate telling the story I want it to tell? Because plating isn't trying to impress strangers online. It's about aligning how your food looks with how it tastes, and how much you cared when you made it. And when those 3 things are in harmony, something clicks. People lean in, they notice, and they remember it. But what if you're not sure how your plate is working? That's where a simple test comes in. One you can try out on your next dish. If you're plating in the moment, at home or in a busy kitchen, you don't always have the time to overthink things. But that doesn't mean you have to guess. The C.R.A.P framework stands for contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. 4 visual design principles borrowed from the world of graphic design, but fits perfectly on the plate. Alright, I know, I perhaps need to find a better acronym for this, so no laughing at the back. And the truth is, it's memorable, and that's the point. Think of this as a 20-second feedback loop, a rapid scan to help you spot if your dish is working visually, or if it needs a final tweak before it hits the table. So start with contrast. Is there visual energy on the plate? Are you using colour, shape, texture, or height to create some tension or a focal point? If everything is beige and flat, the plate may fall flat too. But just one bold element, a swipe of sauce, a sprinkle of fresh herbs, a crispy garnish can completely lift the dish. Next, look for some repetition. Does anything echo? The colours, the shapes, the texture. Repeating an element 2 or 3 times adds rhythm and cohesion. It calms the eye to make the plate feel purposeful. It could be a trio of dots, 3 slices of beetroot, a mirrored curve in 2 different components. Repetition makes the plate feel like a unified idea, not a set of unrelated parts. Now, glance at alignment. Are the elements leading the eye somewhere, or are they just scattered? This isn't about rules or grids, it's about flow. Whether a vertical stack, a soft diagonal, a curved path, strong alignment helps guide attention and gives the dish structure. Even a loose layout can feel composed when the alignment is deliberate. Lastly, Check your spacing. Are ingredients too close or fighting for space? Too far apart, making the plate feel disconnected? Elements that belong together should really stick together, but not too crowded. Negative space is powerful, but only when it feels supportive, not accidental. Now, if you have more time, use it. If you took the time to sketch ideas in advance, like I suggested a little earlier, then you'll definitely have more mental space to consider these design principles in greater depth. That's the ideal. But if you're in the heat of service or trying to plate up quickly at home, the C.R.A.P check can be done fast. 20 seconds, 4 questions, 1 quick decision. Is this plate working? If it hits at least 1 or 2 of these principles, I think you've got a solid start. If it nails 3 or 4, that's where your plating starts to feel polished, professional, and intentional. So before you serve, take a breath, stand back, and run a C.R.A.P check. And if it's all working, plate it, serve it, and enjoy that quiet confidence of knowing your food doesn't just taste good, it looks like it too. If you care about your cooking, and I know you do, or you wouldn't have sat through this whole video, then presentation is worth your attention. Not for vanity, but to ensure your food is seen, appreciated, and remembered, just as much as it is enjoyed. And right now, I'm celebrating something really special. This week, I've been shipping out the first bulk delivery of the Plating Gym to everyone who backed the Kickstarter campaign, and for those of you who ordered through the website and have waited so patiently. It's been an amazing experience, and I've been genuinely touched by the support, the messages, and the feedback so far. So thank you. To mark the occasion, I'm going to give away a copy of the book. All you need to do is answer a question in the comments. If you win this book, what's the first dish you're going to put through the Plating Gym process? Check the pinned comments for full details on how to enter. If you found this video helpful, it'd be brilliant if you could give it a like or a hype. This is the new YouTube function to help small channels like this one, so the video can reach other chefs and home cooks who care about plating too. And if you haven't yet, maybe consider subscribing to join this brilliant community of platists, people who believe great cooking deserves great presentation. And if you're ready to take your plating to the next level, click on the video here, because your food deserves to be seen. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.